Hi, and welcome to the Soluri No Guts, No Glory Hour. We're here in the Madhouse tonight with our very special guest, Mr. Kevin Mazur, and of course, my husband, Vinny.
Hi, husband Vinny.
Well, it's going to be a quick hour, and we're certainly not going to have enough time tonight to cover all the things that Kevin is here to talk about because he's very diverse. And he is, like I posted on my Facebook promo, the #1 world-acclaimed celebrity photographer in the world. And Kevin, welcome.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Good. Glad to finally be here.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you. I know Vinny can speak first because you guys have gone back to...
Since diapers.
Right.
Yeah.
Me and Kevin know each other since I'm probably about 4 years old.
No, it's longer than that.
Yeah.
Our parents have pictures of us playing on the floor in diapers.
Wow.
Well, you were in diapers. Me and
Yeah,
Frankie weren't.
Right. Frankie, also known as Paco. I don't know. Where do I get started, man? It's kind of weird because, like I said, we're such good friends. And I got to ask you the questions that I already know the answers to. But how did you get started in this?
Well, it all started with us going to concerts, especially your brother, Ralphie, taking us, he was the main driver when we were young going to concerts.
He was
older than us.
He was the chaperone.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, what a good chaperone.
Yeah, some chaperone.
Oh, boy.
So anyhow, we all started going to concerts, and it started off in 1977 when we were all fans of Led Zeppelin. We were all going to the Led Zeppelin concert. It was a big deal. You could only mail away and get tickets. I mailed away. Only certain people got tickets. I got 6 tickets.
I didn't see it.
And we were all, and I'll never forget, it was a crew, Copeg crew on the Long Island Railroad driving in to go see Led Zeppelin. And certain people didn't have tickets. And I'm like, how are you going with no tickets? They're like, we're going to scalp. I'm like, what's scalping? Right. And they're like, well, you buy tickets, and, people scalp tickets. They get the tickets and they sell them. So anyhow, we go to the show. We had a blast. And we're all back on the train riding back. And people are going, I'm going tomorrow. You going tomorrow? Because they were doing 6 nights. And I'm like, wow, you got tickets? And they're like, no, we're going to scalp. I'm like, well, I want to do that. I want to go with you. And then I went the next night. We went to scalp tickets. And there was a group of us. And we bought tickets. And then when we got there was a guy that had better seats. And we're like, oh, man. We all had more money. We're like, and one of the guys was like, let's buy the tickets and we'll sell the other ones. And that's what we did. And we made a profit. And I was like, wow, this is fun. So then I went a third night, and then I got hooked, and I got into that whole thing. There's nothing like going to a show for live music. If you love an artist, and then you go see them perform live, there's nothing like it. And I was so hooked, and that was it. I just wanted to go to live shows. I mean, when I was growing up, Vinny knows, you go in my room, like my dad said, it was destiny. Because when you walked into my room, I ripped up all the music magazines, and I had all the pictures and all the posters.
Cream magazine?
Cream magazine.
Every week, 7-Eleven, I'd be down there.
There was Cream, Circus, and Rolling Stone magazine. But also, remember, they had those big posters. If there was an Elton John poster, it's Led Zeppelin poster. It was that one company that did those huge posters. So you couldn't even see the walls. My dad was so pissed. He did my room so nice with paneling.
Wait. I remember the room. It had paneling.
And wallpaper.
The wallpaper.
Yeah, he did the nautical thing, right?
The big globe.
My dad was so proud redoing the room, and then he went to work, and he came back, and then he was like, what the hell? You couldn't even see it. And then he's like, you use thumbtacks, you just ruined the paneling and the wallpaper.
And he hasn't changed.
Oh, he still yells at me.
He's still getting
I
yelled
remember, because actually, Kevin, you grew up in Copeg, and you went to Copeg schools with Vinny, and I grew up in Lindenhurst and went to Lindenhurst schools. I didn't meet you until, when did you come to
10th
Lindenhurst?
grade?
10th grade, 16?
Yeah, but no, you started coming around, it was around 10th grade. I went my junior, senior year to Lindenhurst. So you were one of my I had 2 friends in Lindenhurst. You and my friend Richie Sikowski, who I swam with and played lacrosse.
Yeah, and I was singing in a band at the time with Danny Conklin and some of the other guys that would bounce around. Peppy, hey Pep.
Rebeth.
Richie Rebeth. But I do remember.
Full circle, going back, singing with Pepe again.
It's scary, right? We just saw him last week. But we would all pile in the cars. This is like 17, 18 years old, and we'd all drive to the Nassau Coliseum, and with whoever can get rides with whoever, and we'd all meet and park and hang out before the concert, and then everybody would meet up afterwards. And Kevin would always come back afterwards, after the concert, and everybody would be telling everybody where their seats were, and Kevin was like, I was right at the stage. I was, and he had all these unbelievable pictures, and like, wow, that's
Well, yeah. Well, the
amazing.
thing was, from hustling tickets, I would always be in the front, and it was a lot of fun. But then, for high school graduation, I got a camera, so I started talking to some photographer at a concert, and asking him about it, and I was like, you know what, I'll start bringing my camera. So I started sneaking my camera in.
because they don't really allow
Nobody
that.
really. Well, yeah, but
Right?
back then they really weren't bothering it. It started to happen around, I think, around 79, 80, when Van Halen was one of the first bands that started going after all the fans in the audience. They never bothered anybody. And
Oh,
they
for
would
pictures, right?
For pictures, yeah. And all the photographers used to shoot the whole show in the pit, but all of a sudden there was all these restrictions. You could only
Right.
shoot 3 songs, and then you're out of there, no cameras. And I'll never forget getting busted at a Van Halen concert, and security guys tossed me.
They didn't confiscate your
They
camera.
didn't come. They wanted to.
Right, but they got rid of you and you
They,
kept your camera.
no, they
which-
said either give us the film or leave. I go, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
yeah.
well, now it's so much different because now everybody brings a camera because you bring your phone.
Well, they don't.
You can't.
Well, that-
Everybody's got a camera
Yeah.
at all times now.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
They
you know,
can't
back
stop
in the
that.
day when we were at concerts, everybody's fists were in the air and the horns and stuff.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
Now all you see is phones in the air.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
It's a different era. It's
No more
crazy.
lighters. Everybody
no more
has
lights.
their phones
Well, yeah.
up.
Now you go. Now you go to a show and you hear the artist will go, instead of going, "Hey, put your lighters up," everybody's like, "Put your phone up. Light up
yeah.
your phone."
It's crazy, right?
So, what was your first picture you sold?
First picture I sold was well, what happened was everybody kept on saying, like you guys, your pictures are so great, you should do something with it. So I
Right,
was
we
always
couldn't wait. We couldn't wait to get them developed because back then you had to get the pictures
Get them
developed.
developed. There's no
And wait,
digital.
we used to wait
Yeah.
for Kevin's pictures to
Yeah.
come. It was like a big party.
I
Like,
gotta save up a little money, get a process.
Isn't that funny?
But anyhow, I'll never forget because everybody said your pictures are great. You should do something. And I always loved Rolling Stone magazine, and everybody admired. I was a fan of Annie Leibovitz, so I'm like, oh, let me get I'll find out her studio number, call and get somebody there to give me some advice. And I happened to get her on the phone, and she was like really nice and sweet on the phone, and she said you should call these photo agencies. So I called the photo agency, and the first photo agency I called, they saw my pictures, of Billy Joel, and they said, these are great pictures. We just had a request. Can we hang on to these and submit these? So then I get a week later, I get a call from the photo agency, and they said to me, pick up People magazine. They're running your picture of Billy Joel. And that was my first picture I ever published of Billy Joel. And then that was it. I was
Get the
addicted.
fever.
Then I was addicted. I was just like,
Yeah,
I want to
happy.
get published.
Yes,
And I just
yeah.
wanted to shoot and shoot. And with the photo agency, they get photo passes. And you get a photo pass, you get 3 songs, and then you got to leave. I'm like, most of the time, like, I shoot my 3 songs, and I go sit at my seat and shoot the whole show.
Right.
And sometimes I didn't even bother. I'm like, why do I even want to go through those hassles? I'll just sneak my camera in and shoot from the audience and shoot the whole show.
wow. So now how do you go from? You didn't do paparazzi. You didn't chase
No.
the guys or nothing like that.
No, well, what happened was I never did paparazzi stuff because my friend, because of Stanley's older brother, Nicky DeAndrea, he had this friend, everybody knows him as Fat Vinny. So Fat Vinny was an autograph collector, and he became friendly with all of these celebrities because they'd see him all the time, and he's getting autographs, and they loved him. So us being from an Italian neighborhood, we all idolized The Godfather, and Vinny was, De Niro studied Vinny for his character in King of Comedy because, his character in
Really?
King of Comedy was an obsessed fan. So what he did was he went to Vinny's house in Brentwood, Long Island, and studied Vinny and met Vinny's parents, who he really loved. They were right off the boat from Italy,
right.
and he cooked them a nice Italian meal, and before you know it, they're like even closer friends. So Vinny says, you guys go, if you want to get some autographs, come with me and you can meet Bobby, and get these autographs. And I'm like, shit, yeah, let's do it. So me and Patsy Patasanti, who's a successful actor now, our friend that we grew up with, we went to the set. We get there. First we went to Vinny said, go to this place and you can buy movie stills and movie posters. So we went there. We went and bought all these Godfather, Raging Bull pictures, and we get there on the set. Vinny's not anywhere to be found, and De Niro comes walking out of his trailer, or walking off the set to his trailer, and I'm like, huh? I go, Mr. De Niro, can I get your autograph? And he's like, sure. Patsy's standing there, holding his picture, and De Niro looks at him, walks away. I go, what happened to you? He goes, I froze. So then De Niro goes in his trailer, gets dressed, comes out of his trailer, a little bit later, and me and Pat, and the whole time Patsy's like, oh, I'm not going to freeze this time. He's like being all like, I'm into it, So then he comes out of the trailer, and I brought my camera with me. So I take my camera, and I pick up my camera, and I start shooting. I go to Patsy, I go, this is great, man. He's looking right at the camera. He walks right up to me, pushes with his bodyguard, pushes me up the trailer, and goes, don't ever take a fucking picture without asking. And then walks away, and I'm like, oh my God. And then Vinny's like, he's like, did you see Bobby? We're like, yeah. And then we tell him what, and then we say what happens and stuff. And anyhow, long story short, De Niro was so nice. He said, listen, I didn't know who you were. He goes, I thought you were some paparazzi. He goes, you should always ask before you take a photo. And I'm like, stuck in my head.
So that was actually a good tip.
Well, it was the best advice. Like
right?
To this day, I always say, and I even said it to him numerous times. I said, you gave me the best. Years later, I was working with Bonnie Raitt, and we're backstage, and we're in Bonnie's dressing room, and it was me, De Niro, Dustin Hoffman, and Bonnie Raitt. And Bonnie Raitt walks away, and we're just like killing time. We start talking. And I said, by the way, I go, because of you gave me the best advice in the business, and because of you, I'm on staff at Rolling Stone magazine. And he's like, really? And then I says, yeah. I go, and I told him the story, Fat Vinny. He's like, oh, how's Fat Vinny, And so I tell him the story, the whole thing. And without missing a beat, Dustin Hoffman turns to me and goes, he scared the fuck out of you, huh? And I'm like, no shit.
Yeah. Well, De Niro up in your face is kind of scary, right? Especially mad.
Oh, man. No, he was like nose to nose. I mean, he was like this. And I was like, pushing me up against the trailer.
Just knowing him to begin with through his films and stuff.
Get that after Raging Bull. I'm like, I got Raging Bull coming after me.
Taxi driver.
You already have a preconceived notion. This is a guy you're not going to mess with.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely, that's a great story, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great story. So then you propel.
And years later, I mean, just recently, me and Jen were at the Critics' Choice Awards, and we were hanging out with De Niro, and I told him the story again. Now, and it's funny because I just recently was working with Billy Crystal and a private party with Billy Crystal, and he was there, and he was just like, he always sees me and he just like giggles, he smiles and shakes his head,
Now he's looking for a cut. Now he's looking for.
Yeah.
I started you off, kid. I give you the best advice. Where's my
So
cut?
as you were propelling into, the frenzy of being this photographer, coming through the ranks and really getting a great reputation, you became the guy that all the stars would request to take their photos.
Yeah,
right?
kind of like the go-to guy because
Right.
what happened was, years later, I ended up meeting Elton John. I started working with Elton John. And from Elton John, I met Bon Jovi, George Michael, Sting, and it was like a snowball effect. I really never had a portfolio. I'm very fortunate, very lucky, and blessed
Well, you're
to
very
be where
good
I
at
am.
what you do. And
Well, you know what? The thing is, the way I look at it, that was one of the reasons with like the whole paparazzi thing. My reputation is built on trust and respect. And the way I look at it is if you respect somebody, hopefully they'll respect you back. And plus you have to be talented too.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
I do take good pictures.
Well,
They
that's
trust
definitely a
me,
big
and the
part
other
of
thing
it,
is
yeah.
I deliver. My pictures get published.
But having integrity and morals in that business, really, that's so much a part of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
like you're saying.
Well, yeah.
To get to the standard where you're at, yeah, of course. I mean, there's guys that sell pictures, paparazzi, for big money, right?
Well, yeah, and then plus there are a lot of animals. I mean, last night, Nicole Kidman got ran over by a paparazzi's on
bike,
a
right?
freaking
bike,
bicycle and runs in. He's so aggressive to get the photo, and he's on his bike. He runs her over.
Well, I know firsthand, and I gotta tell the story. You had a studio up on 23rd Street, Manhattan, and I was doing painting for you. I was painting it up for you, and in the middle, we were doing it at night, and the fax machine kicked off, and a fax came from, never forget it, President Clinton. They wanted to shoot his birthday. I want to say it was his 40th, or maybe it was his 50th. But I'll never forget that day. I was like, oh, my God. Kevin's getting a fax from the president. I'm like, oh, my God.
President's
And
office,
that, I mean, I know how good you are. I know how long you've been doing this. I know the people you shoot, the houses you've been in, the close friends you have as celebrities. And to me, you've always been my buddy. It's Kevin. You know, I look at you, I said, that's my buddy
Well,
Kevin.
what's great about it is Vinny's always been a lot closer to you. You've known him forever. But when we all hang out, it's like nothing ever changes. We were all together last Saturday, because we had our friends in from town, Linda and Roscoe, and with Peppy and everything. It's all the same, right? We're bringing up stories from when we were kids, and you're still the same guy with this incredible life of travel and fame and knowing all these great people and going and seeing all these great people perform.
Yeah, but
which
it's
is,
also
you know,
fun, too, because it's fun to bring everybody around. You know, when I worked with Paul McCartney, the first person I called was his brother, because his brother
Right, he's
was
a
the
big fan.
biggest Beatle fan. And I had him come with me on the shoot, and, you know, and he got to meet Paul. And not only got to meet Paul, he got a portrait with Paul. We were doing portraits. You know, there's one thing getting your picture taken, but he got a portrait. You know, I was doing portraits with Paul. And then I'm sitting there, I'm taking portraits with Ralphie, and I'm with Paul. I'm like, you know what? I want to get a portrait with him too. I made him take a picture, you know, with me too. But it's fun, and then to bring you guys around, and like, you know, Sting's a really good friend of mine. And brings, you know,
We met
Sting
Sting that time,
Sting
yeah.
and Trudy always ask how the guys are. Always want to know if they're coming around. You know,
Bono's
and-
that way too, right?
Bono too. Bono's really cool.
Yeah, Bono's he never forgets anybody's name. That guy's like amazing.
Yeah, well, you got to think about it, because that's the one thing I can't understand. I can never remember names and stuff, but, you know, and that was one time I brought it up to Bono. I'm like, man, you got some memory. He goes, well, I write the songs. I sing the songs. He goes, I don't use a teleprompter like other people. He goes, I remember.
Right. Which is tough sometimes.
Oh,
That's
well,
tough.
But you know, you're good at the celebrity names and faces, because we'll be sitting somewhere and Kevin will be like, "Oh, look, that's the guy from this and this." I'm like, "Really? How do you know that?"
Well, you and I have to thank you, because you have, you know, connected us with some pretty cool people and been to some great places. The Super Bowl this past year on the 20-yard line, second row, with your beautiful wife Jennifer. Jennifer, I love you.
And she's a big Ravens
and I'm
fan,
a
so
huge
she got to
Ravens
see her
fan, and I
team
got
win.
to see my guy go out with a ring, retiring, and I thank you for that, along with Sting and all the other people and Seinfeld. But we have so much more to talk about, and we really need 3 hours, guys, so can we have that? But we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and get more stuff from Kevin. You're amazing.
Look at some pictures too.
Yeah, definitely.
Be right back.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn?
Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act One will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote, or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure.
You'll be happy you did.
Like so many people, are your finances tight lately? Afraid to open your mail or even answer your phone? Well, take heart. You don't have to live like that. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you can join the thousands of folks who have used safe and effective government-insured reverse mortgages. The government-insured reverse mortgages from Long Island's Senior Reverse Network allow you to stay in your home and turn equity into tax-free cash. Our government-insured reverse mortgages can eliminate mortgage payments, credit card balances, or just improve your lifestyle. Do yourself a favor and solve these problems now. Call the Senior Reverse Network, and our advisors will answer all of your questions about our reverse mortgage programs. We've helped scores of senior Long Island homeowners like you who now enjoy a worry-free retirement. Get the financial security and peace of mind you've dreamed about. Pick up the phone and call us at the Senior Reverse Network now to set up a free consultation.
Call 1-800-985-REVERSE. That's 1-800-985-7383.
Thank you.
This is Beth.
Hi.
Oh, congratulations. When are you due?
I'm not pregnant.
Oh, look at that. Excuse me.
You're totally thin.
You look very sexy.
For life's bleachable moments, all it takes is 3/4 of a cup.
Hi, and we're back again to the Soluri No Guts, No Glory Hour with Kevin Mazur. But before we go any further, I just want to toast to my beautiful friend Jennifer Mazur
My wife.
and Kevin's wife. Thank you for the sake. It's fabulous.
My little sister.
Cheers. Love you. So anyway, we have so much to cover in so little time. I think the next thing we're going to do is have Janine start rolling some pictures, all of which Kevin has taken, and Kevin will do some narration as we see them. But they're amazing, and you've probably seen them along the way in magazines or on TV. So, Janine, if you can roll those photos.
So it's portraits of Sting, Elton, and Springsteen. This was at
Nice.
one of the rainforest benefits. I work with Gwen Stefani. She's got her own clothing line. So, you know, she always hires me to do whenever she's doing her fashion shows. This is like one of the last photos of Whitney Houston with Alicia Keys and Jennifer Hudson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
very
beautiful.
sad. This is an old picture of Sheryl Crow with Johnny Cash.
Wow.
This is from the Grammys when Gwyneth Paltrow sang with CeeLo Green. He had this funky outfit with the Muppets they sang.
Okay.
That's them that's her and Beyonce in the audience from the same Grammy show. That's Dre and Eminem.
And these are all Kevin's photographs. So they're amazing. They're just amazing. They're
That's
amazing.
from the Vanity Fair party. I shoot the Vanity Fair party every year. Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez when they were going out together. Yeah, and
The
same thing,
Teamster.
Vanity Fair party. Justin Timberlake and his wife, Lil Wayne.
Oh, that's
Nassau
good. That's
Coliseum.
Okay, there you go.
Shot that at Nassau Coliseum.
Yeah, which will no longer be.
This
right?
is Times Square. Nicki Minaj was promoting this camera that she was promoting.
Was she promoting her hair?
She wasn't promoting
That's some wig, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's nice stuff.
Prince, I'm very
Prince.
lucky. Prince, he doesn't trust any photographers, and
Really,
he
but
calls
you-
me all the time.
And that's a great shot. I
Yeah.
love the colors in that. Too.
Yeah.
Really nice.
He's little, right?
Yeah, well, he's a good guy too. And this is Beyonce dancing with a bunch of kids in the Bronx at a high school.
Nice.
And I shoot the ESPY Awards every year, so this is a promo. This was the
love it.
promo photo for the ESPY Awards with, I can't remember his name.
That's okay. You know
Samuel
some-
Jackson.
Samuel
man.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was from the Billboard Awards. Bono and the Bieber. And,
Now you're really good friends with Bono, right?
yeah,
He's one of your closer friends.
Yeah, I've been shooting you two from way to Joshua Trees when I met the
Really?
guys.
Now, what
I
about
shoot-
what about Justin Bieber? He hires you for?
Yeah, I've been shooting the label. Before he was famous.
Really?
You know, it's funny to work with these people like Sheryl Crow. I met when she was a backup singer with Michael Jackson.
Really?
Yeah, Kid Rock, Bobby.
Okay.
You know,
And
it's funny.
you know
It's
what?
like Vinny's like, Bobby? Who's Bobby? I'm like, it's Kid Rock.
He's got a whole story about that,
Yeah.
but we don't even have time. I wish
Yeah.
we have to bring you back maybe another time just to tell the stories. But speaking of Michael Jackson, right before his death, you were the last person to photograph him. Right?
Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I
mean,
was,
it's,
I was very excited that he was going to do these block of shows in London. So I was the photographer they hired to do all, I was going to do all the publicity photos, and I was shooting rehearsals. And, like everybody else, he's getting on. I was sitting there thinking, oh, how's he going to do this? But to me, at rehearsal, he was going toe-to-toe with these 20-year-old dancers, and he was great. Because I've been working with him for so long, I was very impressed to see how well he was, and didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. But from what I saw, he was healthy, and he was able to perform.
There
And
is,
his voice was still strong, and he was dancing. He was getting into it. He was having fun. He's a perfectionist. People don't realize how much of a perfectionist he is, but like he's really on top. He was really on top of his game.
Well, your exact words to me, because I remember we were at a show the next night, and you had all the pictures on your computer, and you said to me, I remember your exact words. You said he wasn't ready to die.
No way.
This guy had energy. You said he was
And I was
jumping around.
well. The thing was, what happened was, I shot the first day of rehearsals. We were supposed to do portraits, but he had this jacket that this Crystal company made this jacket. It wasn't ready, so he said, "We'll do the portraits. We're going to do the portraits next week." So anyhow, we did rehearsal, and then the next night, that night, he was like, "Okay, good, I'll see you tomorrow." And I said, "Well, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but I'll see you next week because I got to fly to London to do Elton's party." And he's like, "Oh, tell him I said hi." So anyhow, so I go to Elton's. I go to London to shoot. I know, right? So I go to Elton John's party, and first thing Elton John, Justin Timberlake is saying to me, they're like, "So what do you think? How was he?"
Elton said, "What do you think?"
Yeah. No, so I said he was amazing. He was going toe to toe with the 20-year-old dancers and stuff. And then halfway through the event, Elton comes up to me and goes, "Michael Jackson died." I'm like, "Yeah, right." I go, "There are always rumors around this poor guy." And then sure enough, you look out into the crowd, and Justin Timberlake was just about to perform. Everybody's buried in their phones. And I have my phone, and I'm looking at everybody, and everybody's saying it. And I'm going, and I wasn't paying attention because my phone was on ringer, so I couldn't hear anything. It's so loud in there. So I pick up my phone. My phone was blowing up.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to find out what, and I had everybody from CNN to every news outlet calling me to talk to me, and then I saw the people that hired me from AEG and Michael Jackson's people. They're like, "Don't talk to anybody," they were the first. I wouldn't do anything because that's the way I am. I'm respectful of everything.
Exactly, right.
First of all, I wanted to find out, so I called Michael's people to find out, is this true? And they told me, it was really upsetting to hear it. And they were like, "Don't talk to anybody." And then like a week later, they said, "Listen, we want you to talk." It was a couple days later. "I want you to talk. You can talk to him." Me and Jen, we were in Barcelona with you too, and poor Jen, we were supposed to spend the day out sightseeing, and they're like, "Oh, we want you to do all these interviews," and I spent, right, Jen? What was it, like? The whole day, like 6, right, like 6-7 hours.
You forgot? What was it? Oh, the whole day.
It was like 6-7 hours of phone interviews, and then that night when we went to the show, I said to Bono and Edge, I'm like, "Damn, man, how do you guys do these interviews? They ask you the same questions over and over and over, and you're like, and you're just talking about the same thing." Well, yeah, but I'll tell you about it. After the 5th interview, I was ready for everything. The first couple, because at first when I was talking about, Jen will tell you, I was a little choked up. It was hard to talk about.
Well, you were with the guy. It wasn't like a guy you didn't know.
Yeah,
It was a stranger.
yeah. Well, you know what? And the thing was, I've been working with him for so long, and for this to just suddenly happen, it's like blindside.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's happened to me so many times. It was like with Kurt Cobain.
Right.
I was working with Kurt
Oh,
Cobain.
yeah, great pic. That great famous picture. With
And I got so many pictures of Kurt Cobain, but I'll never forget, Rolling Stone magazine called me up and said, "Well, that last assignment that you shot for us with Kurt Cobain, you can't sell that to anybody. We want that exclusive, because they're the ones that called me." It was another one. I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this guy did this." And when I saw it, the last time I was with him, it was the October or November before he killed himself. He was, this is what happened. So, no, it was in October. I worked with him in October, and then I worked with him but in October when I was with him, Courtney wasn't around. It was just him and Francis. And he was telling me, we were hanging out backstage, how he wanted to be clean. He goes, "I'm clean now." And he goes, "I'm even trying to quit smoking cigarettes." And I have these pictures of him with like this filter on the cigarette. And I have these great pictures of him him playing with Francis. And at the time, my wife was pregnant with my first son, my ex-wife. And, I said, it's my, I'm getting ready to have, my first baby. And he said, and he had Francis on the table, and he goes, "This is the greatest gift a woman could ever give you." And I was like, wow, it's like really taken back. Like this Kurt from the Kurt Cobain rock star, it's like,
exactly.
And he's being this great father, and he's playing with her and stuff. And it was, that was kind of shocking how it just, you know, I've been through so many different celebrities, you know, like Whitney Houston, Kurt Cobain, you know, all these people that have passed away suddenly. And
Yeah, it's shocking.
It's
I
shocking.
think Michael Jackson was probably the biggest shock, I would think. I mean, I don't know you, but what kind of a person? You heard so many stories circulate around about that man through all the years. I mean, I adored him since I was a little girl with the Jackson 5, the cartoon, and just all their records. And what kind of a guy was he really?
He was the
as
sweetest
sweet
guy.
as I
He was the
heard
sweetest
that he
guy.
was.
He had a great heart. I mean, he was the type of
Gentle.
guy, very gentle. He really loved his fans.
Loved
you
them,
know,
yeah.
you know. And it was all about his fans. He did this for his fans. You know, he was
genuine.
He
then.
was very
You know,
genuine.
Very genuine.
And
Very
that tour,
Yeah.
that tour was This Is It, right?
This is it.
Now, all those pictures from This Is It, all the
There is, you know,
advertisements for them?
they were all on the album cover. You know, we put out to press like 4 pictures they wanted me to put out to press, so we put those out to press. And then in the This Is It poster, all those photos, you know, it's like a silhouette of Michael like this
Right.
with the hat.
Right.
All
All the
those photos in that poster are my photos.
Wow.
Well, you have a large one in your place in the city, right? I think Jen had made up that big giant. Wasn't that one of the last ones you took?
Jen, we became friends with this famous artist named Brainwash. He's in a documentary called Exit Through the Gift Shop. I totally recommend it. You should everybody should watch it. It's about street artists. And Jen reached out to Brainwash to make, she wanted to get a nice Christmas gift or birthday gift, babe? Oh, anniversary.
It's like
She always comes up, but the thing is, all those occasions, she comes up with great gifts
good,
for me.
yeah,
So-
great.
We've seen
So
them.
that one,
We always get to see them before you.
right.
It was a hologram, right? Isn't
No,
it a
it's
hologram?
it's
I'm
called
trying to
it's
think
called
of
the
it.
triptych. So
Right.
when you walk
Okay.
by it, it moves.
Yeah.
So and it's like 3 of some of the most famous pictures. One of them
Yeah,
actually
it's
was the
it's
cover
great.
of Rolling Stone magazine.
It was great, definitely. Okay, so we covered the Michael Jackson. I need a list here because there's so many things.
They're talking about the documentaries, so let's talk about celebrity.
Right.
So I ended up with Celebrity. I directed and produced my first film. I always wanted to do a film, and everybody, of course, would think I would do something in music. But I know this business so well because the other thing too is, in 2001, me and my partners created Wire Image. Wire Image is one of the most successful entertainment websites that we distribute entertainment photos around the world. And then in 2007, we were bought by Getty Images, which I am very proud to say I'm involved
Yeah,
with those
Getty,
because those guys,
yeah, that's a big
those
deal.
guys in 1994 started Getty Images, Mark Getty and Jonathan Klein. And those guys are the reason that I wanted to do Wire Image because I was like, if these guys can do it, what they did was they raised money and bought photo agencies and combined them. What we did was, we're photographers, let's build it from the ground level, from scratch, and do it. And we did, and we were so successful immediately. And it was kind of freaky, though, because we started 2001 in January, and then 9/11 happened.
Oh, yeah.
And we were like, oh my God. We were just like looking at each other. But what did we do? We went right into it and started shooting news. All the guys went out, started shooting everything around 9/11. Then I was approached by VH1 and James Dolan and Harvey Weinstein, John Sykes. We want you to be the official photographer for the 9/11 concert, the concert for New York at Madison Square Garden, which Madison Square Garden,
that was something.
to me, is the greatest. I toured the world. I've been in every venue in the world.
Yeah.
And you're
Madison
gonna-
Square
is it
Garden.
really?
And we're talking the
Ma-
world.
No,
Like
Madison
you're saying
Square
before,
Garden, and
Barcelona.
artists will tell you, Madison Square Garden is the best
It's the
venue
place,
in the world.
Really?
Elton
Okay,
John,
that surprised me.
Elton John will
I
tell
wouldn't-
you. The
No.
thing is with Madison Square
That's
Garden,
great.
you feel it. When the crowd's
Yeah, well,
bouncing,
that's true, yeah.
it bounces. You know, and I was talking to James Dolan, who owns it, and he said, you know, it's because it's a cable system the cables come from the roof that's holding it. And instead of knocking it down, James decided to renovate the whole thing because there's so much history behind it, and everybody loves to perform there, where a lot of venues, they're too busy knocking down and building
And
new
rebuilding,
ones.
yeah.
So he put all the money into it. So anyhow, some 9/11 concert was such a magical night that night.
That was 12-12-12.
Well, no, that
that
wasn't
was
12.
Sandy.
No,
That was
Sandy's
Sandy,
12, 12, 12. So
Okay.
then that was the concert for New York, and me, you know, because my dad's a retired fireman.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I did was after 9/11, I was the official photographer, one of the photographers for the telethon. And, you know, we were bouncing around before the telethon. I was with Bon Jovi, and we went to a firehouse. So I asked one of the firemen, I said, listen, I said, my dad's a retired fireman, and I respect all the firemen and the cops, you know, especially the firemen. I said, can I grab one of these fireman helmets? I want to put it on. I asked Billy Joel, I said, I want to put a fireman's helmet on your piano when you perform.
Nice.
And he said, sure. So I asked one of the firemen, can I get the helmet, you know, get a helmet? And they said, we have the right helmet for you. He goes, one of our guys who was in the Army Reserves, once this happened, he said, I want to go fight. I want to go get bin Laden. Really? So they gave me his helmet.
Wow.
And we put his
Did
helmet.
we had that picture today?
No, I forgot that. I just was thinking about it. It's like, man, I should have that.
We have about 1,000.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that, you know, when I brought the helmet, you know, even the director of the show was like, oh my God, you know, and they kept focusing on
That's
it
very
too.
poignant. That's a really
If
poignant.
you Google Billy Joel's performance for it, you'll see the
We
whole
definitely
thing.
will, yeah, definitely.
But then, you know, I've been very fortunate. I've been the official photographer for Woodstock 94, Woodstock
those
90,
things I didn't
Woodstock
realize. That's really
99,
great.
the 12-12-12 concert came around. So that, you know, Harvey and John and James, they all, you know, approached me again, and I was one of the official photographers for that.
Was that very
And
emotional?
it's extremely. I mean, we were all affected.
9/11 was very emotional too. But
9/11.
Sandy too.
Well,
you know,
Sandy,
both of those,
Sandy, we were hit. You know, we live on the water in Lindenhurst. So, you know, American Venice. the whole-
9/11, your office wasn't too far from the Trade Center either.
Yeah,
was
well,
it?
the Wire Image office was on 27th Street, and well, what happened was I'll never forget. Colby was an infant, and I was feeding Colby, and I was watching, you know, the news. And I'm watching the Today Show, and all of a sudden they're talking about a plane hit the building, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, bam, the second plane hit.
Yeah, I remember.
And I was like, oh my God. So then I was talking to my partners from Wire Image, and we're like, I was like, go send guys down there, you know? So we sent a bunch of photographers down there to go shoot it. And then, you know, I said to one of the guys, I said, go up on our roof because we have a good view from our roof of the Twin Towers. So when Larry Basaka, who's a friend of mine, I sent, you know, he went up there, and I was talking to him on the phone. And while he was on the phone, and he's got the phone to his ear, the first building collapsed. And all I heard was he's shooting, and all of a sudden, and I'm watching it on the news too. I hear,
eerie.
holy shit, in the phone. He just dropped the phone.
Wow.
And he caught the whole building
just got a chill.
falling down.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the first building that fell was the second building hit, correct?
I don't know.
I think that's how it was. And, you know, our hearts go out to all those people. 9/11 just passed.
Yeah, I was just down.
12th anniversary.
Well, I was just down at the memorial too.
You were.
I saw your pictures, your Instagram pictures. They were amazing.
Yeah. And then Jen and Ashley and we all went down to check out the lights and stuff too.
There were a lot of people down there the other day.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
You couldn't go anywhere without seeing
Really,
that.
yeah.
Well, that was a really that was a touching moment for us, you know, especially here in New York. I mean, for our country, it's touching enough, but right here at home, man, it really hit hard. You know, everybody knows somebody or is connected to somebody that has a story about 9/11.
Oh yeah,
you know.
one of the guys I lifeguard with, he passed away. A bunch of the guys that my father's, you know, that I knew from, you know, my father was a fireman. The guys that I took the fireman test with, they took the job, you know, they're gone.
Perished. That's too bad. And then Sandy, which hit us almost a year ago, really hit us. Well, I mean, we're on the North Shore now, but our families are still right there where we grew up. I mean, your parents, right? His parents, my
aren't.
sister.
We're on the water. His parents aren't even on the water, and they got the whole island was submerged.
Right.
Really, really bad. My sister lost the whole downstairs of her house, and it's devastating when you're going through it. I mean, there's so many people that can say how devastated they were from here to Jersey. You know, so many people lost so much, but thank God everybody perseveres. I mean, New Yorkers and New Jersey folk,
Yeah.
right? Strong, tough people,
Sandy
so-
was rough too, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I walked in the
Stand
house to
strong.
see my father, who was 75 years old, you know, cooking eggs on a propane heater that was heating his house and cooking him food. I was like, oh my God, come on, Dad, you gotta get out of here. He wouldn't leave though. He's trooper, a little crazy.
Yeah. Oh,
It was
a
devastating,
trooper.
man.
We'll say he's a trooper.
We got a lot of pictures. I was at your house. Matter of fact,
You had
weren't-
some great pictures around the neighborhood.
You evacuated, and I left my
Well,
mom's house.
I'll
and-
never forget. I would have
took
stayed if it
pictures of
wasn't for
yours.
Jen. She's like, you're not staying. I'm like, I wrote out all these storms. Gloria, Irene, I was there. I
Yeah,
stayed.
but Sandy was different. Sandy was way tougher than all the others.
I remember I left my mom's house, came by your house. I could, Kev, I called you on the phone.
Yeah,
You're
I
like,
remember
all
that.
right, check this. Go check this.
yeah.
Go check
We were
that.
driving
Send me
around, running
pictures.
around,
Now
yeah.
I'm sending you pictures.
But you had some great ones of boats, like all the way down the block, on the street, just crazy stuff, crazy stuff. All right, so we talked about Michael Jackson. Is there any way, Janine, we can show some more of Kevin's amazing pictures, and he can narrate some more stuff for us?
Like I said, we got about 1,000 of them. This kid's been
That's
around.
Lady Gaga doing a record signing in New York City. You could go quicker. I'll talk. Bono, that was the opening of Spider-Man.
Okay.
On Broadway.
Is that still on Broadway? That's
Yeah,
still
it's
going.
still.
Okay,
It's kicking
good.
butt.
Okay.
Actually, they're going out. That's Taylor Swift in concert. Beyonce, when she announced, this was the first time she showed up at the MTV Awards. Everybody was speculating, but it was the first time she publicly
Announced that she was pregnant.
Publicly, this is how she told everybody she was pregnant at the MTV Awards. This is Katy Perry won 3 awards that night.
How is she?
She's a
She
sweetheart.
seems like a lot
Yeah,
of fun. I
yeah.
mean, her music's fun. She just seems like a fun
Yeah,
personality.
she's a great
you know?
songwriter, too.
Yeah.
This is Black Eyed Peas. This was at, we're going out again for the iHeartRadio concert. I did a bunch of portraits there.
That's a great one. I like that.
Steven Tyler.
Steven
sang
Tyler.
That's our boy we all love. Our town
we
was
grew
all
up
about
with Steven
Aerosmith.
Tyler. And of course, you got us backstage at Jones Beach, and we got to meet
Nicki
him. and
Minaj.
which I love.
God, you keep rolling. Jay-Z, hanging out in New York at a carnival with
Jay-Z's
me.
your buddy, right?
Yeah, I work with Jay a lot. This was Sting's 60th birthday. Right, Jen? Was it 60th birthday? And this was all the special guests that were back, performing that night.
Nice. He's amazing. He just got
Madonna.
some-
I work
some
with
voice.
Madonna a lot. She's a lot of fun.
Have you ever shot at Madonna's daughter? Or?
Yeah, well, no, with the clothing line that her.
Right,
her and
because
Madonna-
I've seen one with you, that you took with her and her daughter.
Lourdes.
Yeah.
And this is from the Super Bowl, where Jen had to carry my big lenses because I was on crutches.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's Super Bowl 2 years ago, right? Yeah.
Katy Perry and Rihanna.
Let's stop
People
right
got-
there because you mentioned a touching point that I want to get into too. You were on crutches
Yes.
because you had an accident, right?
Yeah, a girl was texting and driving. We were, me and Jen were driving home from Guns N' Roses, and a mile from our house, we were on Montauk Highway in Copiague, and a girl was texting and driving. 22-year-old girl, beautiful girl, and it's sad to say she died.
Right.
We survived. Our Escalade saved us. I don't know. There was photos. I don't know.
I don't know if Janine, if you have any photos of that, of the car crash. We were devastated when we heard.
Yeah.
and
But,
just,
but I just want to push. I want to push.
yeah, there it
big-
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there,
Oh
there
my
it
God.
is.
And an
That's
Escalade.
what's left of an Escalade.
Escalade. So you can imagine the impact. And Montauk Highway, anybody.
We were doing 40
that
miles
knows
an
that
hour. They
stretch
said
over
that
there.
she estimated that she was doing like 50, 60. And she abruptly turned right into us. And she passed, and we survived. But, we're still in pain.
You're still going
It's
to therapy,
November.
right?
Yeah, it's still therapy. Jen still has problems with her back. I got problems with my back. I feel it every day when I
So
walk.
we want to put it out to people. 'Cause,
Don't text and drive.
Do not text and drive.
And we've all done it. We are all
We've all
culprits.
been
Nobody
guilty.
can say they don't. You feel like it's not a big deal. Oh, really quick, I can look. And I'm good. I'm talented. I can multitask. We're all kind of egotistical that way, that we think we can multitask everything and come out strong. But do not,
It's a split second. It was a split second that happened. I mean, it was just that quick. All I saw
That's
was
how it
headlights, and there was nothing you can do.
Nothing's that important. And
Yeah.
I put it out there again because my little sister will kick my butt if I don't say it 100 times. Do not text and drive, man. Do not.
it's
text
not
and
worth
drive.
it. It's not worth it. Definitely don't do it.
I remember walking in the hospital and seeing you guys there, me and Janet, our hearts just dropped out of our chest. And we were just like, wow, you don't realize how close things come to that point where you just say, don't do this, man. Don't do this.
You can roll more photos.
Yeah, let's do more photos because my wife's crying.
Yeah, I got Eminem and Kid Rock. This was at a concert in Seattle. They're just goofing around with me.
That's great.
Jennifer Lopez.
That's a great
yeah, I
picture.
work with
I
Jen
love
a lot.
that. Yeah, that's a great shot.
Taylor Swift just
That's
falling
a
into the audience at the MTV
And she's a
Awards.
sweetheart from everything you've said, too, right?
Yeah,
She's
I
a real
mean,
good girl.
she's great. I mean, we took the kids, we took Ashley and her friends, and me and Jen took them there, and her dad took the girls all over under the stage, backstage, the dressing room,
Really?
and gave them a private tour.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
I couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow, what great people. I mean, what a great family.
Where is she from? She's
They're
a
from
Midwest?
Philadelphia. I
Oh,
think.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought she was a Midwest girl.
What?
who's
No.
that? Oh, that's.
No, I forgot. I think No. This is Pink flying. Go back. That was Pink flying at the iHeart Radio concert.
I absolutely love
last
her.
year.
She's amazing.
Did you go to a Halloween party with Pink?
Yeah. That's Jay-Z.
That's
That's
a
when he
great
opened
shot.
up. That's when he played. That's the first concert
That's a
at the
great
Barclays
shot.
Center.
At the Barclays Center. That's
Yeah.
some picture. That's
Yeah.
just beautiful.
That's Pearl Jam. It's Eddie Vedder jumping in the air.
That's a great. All your shots
That's
are great.
Jimmy Page and Robert Plant.
Oh, I gotta love
That
it.
was the after party for
All our Zeppelin fans from
that.
the Rehearsing
Yeah,
Copays.
That's where it all started, Kevin.
Yeah,
There it is.
exactly.
Full circle,
That was
baby.
the inspiration.
So we went to a party. Me and Jen went to the party after the screening of the last film that they did, which was I was there when they performed. They had a screening of the film. I can't remember the name of it now. For when they performed at the O2 Arena, when they did the benefit where they all reunited, and I was fortunate enough to be there.
Wow.
You can roll some more. So this is. We were at some charity event, and that's Ben Stiller doing his Zoolander. Zoolander, doing
Oh,
Blue
he's funny.
Steel.
Good
Yeah,
thing you
he's
got your
funny.
wife here.
Bruno Mars at the this is Bruno.
Credits to Jen.
Bruno Mars at the Victoria's Secret fashion
He's
show
great
last
too.
year.
I love him.
He's so
I
talented.
just think he's amazing. He's
Yeah.
doing the halftime show at the
Yes.
Super
Yeah.
Bowl this
He's
year,
the
right?
first one named, yes.
So this is Springsteen performing with the Stones at the Barclays Center. Same thing. Guys having a good time.
Great
Backstage.
stuff. Yeah. There you go. That's great.
Gaga singing with the Stones.
Really? Okay, that's.
This is at the
interesting.
SAG Awards. Hugh Jackman goofing around with Anne Hathaway.
I just love.
This
Hugh
is when
Jackman. He's
this is at the
hugely
Kids'
talented.
Choice Awards. Fergie, she's pregnant, and Selena Gomez.
Wait, did she have her baby?
Yeah, she had a baby boy.
How long ago?
I did
remember
I
she's-
photographed the baby shower.
Was that a
just
long
recently.
time ago? Or
Nah,
was that,
what
you know
was
what?
it, like-
She was pregnant
Jen,
recently,
when
right?
was that? 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
She had a
Oh, wow.
baby.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know she actually gave birth already.
It's
Okay.
More Stones. Jimmy Fallon. This is at the Time 100. Jimmy Fallon with.
Now we met Jimmy
with,
Fallon.
With Jimmy came to my Jimmy's a good friend. He came
Yeah,
to
we-
came to our.
we
He
met him at
surprised
your
everybody.
party.
He came to my 50th birthday party, and everybody was freaking out.
Yeah, he was funny. He's
Well, you know what?
He's
When,
really a good
when
guy.
your brother-in-law Joe got up to say, gave a toast, say a speech at your 50th birthday party, the TV came on, and there was Sheryl Crow, and there was Elton John and Billy Joel all just saying, "Happy birthday, Kevin! Sorry I couldn't be there."
Yeah.
It's like holy cow! You know, these guys. You just don't take pictures of them. You really become friends with these guys. You know, and they let you in their house. It's not like you just stand there taking pictures. You know, they invite you in. They want you. You're the one they want, and that's just awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad you got it like that instead of chasing cars and
And running down
doing it that
people
way.
in motion.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is at the Spike Awards, the Guys' Choice Awards. Burt Reynolds. They had a giraffe on the side of the stage.
that a real giraffe?
Yeah, it's a real giraffe.
Oh my
it
God!
And the giraffe, he kept on every time you walk. You got to be careful because every time you walk by the giraffe, because he wanted food, and he would come up. He'd nip at
They
you.
have big tongues, right?
Yeah.
Giraffes, they have these big tongues.
This is American Music Awards. Mariah Carey.
How is she?
This was the other-
How is Mariah Carey?
She's sweet. I've known her forever.
She's
She's
sweet.
fine.
I think she's hugely talented.
Well, she's from Long Island. You know, the thing is, I'm fortunate enough, all the Long Islanders all want to work with me. Seinfeld, Billy Joel, Mariah Carey, the Baldwin brothers. It's great. So this is Mariah. This
Yeah.
is One Direction at the Today Show. I'm in
that's a
the
picture.
crowd getting swarmed by the
That's-
kids.
That's a good picture. Oh, and they're probably the worst.
This
of
is
you.
Gaga from the MTV Awards. Miley Cyrus and everybody's been talking
yeah.
about this.
Oh,
Very
yeah,
recent,
yeah, this is
very
yeah,
recent.
yeah.
Twerking.
And Robin,
Miley
Robin
at her
Thicke.
twerking best. Twerk it, girl.
yeah. They got a lot of press from that
Yeah.
performance.
Talk about promotion, right?
This is from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame concert. Bob Dylan and Bruce Springsteen
yes,
performed.
we were there. Thanks to
we
Kevin.
weren't there that
No,
night.
no,
We
no.
didn't
That's
see-
the one. This was in Cleveland.
Oh, that's the Cleveland one.
Yeah, that's
okay.
from Cleveland.
Yeah, that's a
We
great.
were in
That's a
New
great
York.
shot.
Kid
That's a
Rock
great
and
shot.
Sheryl Crow performing together.
Now, how long ago was that shot?
That
Do they still? Because they.
that was at no, that was one of the country. It was the Country Music Awards
Okay.
a couple of years ago, and then I do the ESPY Awards. The next one, the ESPY Awards, I do every year. So it's the Manning brothers.
Yeah, that's great. They're facing each other this Sunday. Right? The
No,
Broncos
I
and the
thought
Giants.
I thought they just did it.
No,
No?
Sunday.
Oh, it's this
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah,
Oh,
they play
okay.
Sunday. Man to man.
This was Sheryl Crow and Sting did a song together, so this is a promo shot.
I love
did
that
for
song
them.
they did together.
And this
That
is
was a great song.
I was the photographer for the Police reunion, and I have a famous picture of Sting. We were doing this thing, and I was trying to get him on a motorcycle we were doing a video, and it was a police motorcycle, and it said police on it.
Great.
And the whole time he's like, "I'm not getting on that because they're gonna think there's a police reunion." He goes, "I'm not getting on." And then he would jump on it, and I would run over, and he'd jump off, and then finally I grabbed him. I said, "Get your ass on there."
Yeah, I
That's
seen
a-
that picture you have hanging up in your loft
Yeah.
in the city.
That's a great
We
photo,
got to
yeah.
take another commercial break right now.
Okay, we'll be back with
And then
Kevin
we're
Mazur.
gonna
Stay
be back.
tuned.
We're going to be back with Kevin. We got 10 more minutes to go.
Kevin's going to do a song
it
when we
goes
come
fast.
back because that seems to be typical here on our show. The last 10 minutes of song. No, I'm kidding.
All right,
Just stay
watch
with
this
us.
commercial.
I got a tambourine. Where's my tambourine?
There you go. Jen's
played
going to
them.
sing.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn?
Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure.
You'll be happy you did.
Stop the truck! Stop the truck! Thank you.
Hi, and welcome back to the Soluri No Guts, No Glory Hour. But this time we have an addition for our final segment, Miss Jennifer Mazur. Love you, Jen. We figured we can't end the show without her. She graces the camera with her presence. But Kevin, before we go any further, you have something.
Well, there's another
I want
thing
you
I'm
to-
involved with called Rock Paper Photo. It's an
love that name.
online rock and roll gallery that you can go and buy old pictures of rock and roll. Yeah,
okay.
what happened was Madonna's manager, Guy O'Seary, is a friend of mine. He wanted to start this. We both collect old rock and roll photos, and he told me he was going to do this and wanted to know if I wanted to be involved. I'm like, sure, anything, sounds right up my alley.
I love the title. It's so cute.
I was
It's
at
so
the
cute.
gallery when you did the, what do you call the premiere of it, or the showing of it, when you had it up in the loft?
Yeah, we had a launch
Jen-
party. We had a launch party at the
And,
loft.
yeah, Jen had a launch party. That was a good party. I'm telling
Yeah, I
you.
wasn't there for that one.
Yeah,
I
you,
remember, I don't know
you
where
had
it
something
was.
to do,
I
but
had somewhere
I was there. Alec Baldwin was there,
Maybe I
and
was working.
Yeah, we had Alec Baldwin and a couple other people.
some
Rich
models.
Albano, you never gave me the night off, and I missed the party. Oh,
But I'm telling you, the food that went around, we had a blast. Christmas was a blast too.
yeah, definitely. You guys have great
I want to ask
times.
you something, Jen. You are you with Kevin a lot when he does all these shoots and stuff? Most of the time. Yeah, I mean, you just got to be in awe to see him doing stuff like this, right? It's just, it's amazing, right? It's,
More in awe of him than I am of the people I get to meet and stuff.
yeah, that's what I say.
Because it's just Kevin, and then when you see him in that environment, it's different.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, you really are somebody. I mean, you're more than just my husband and a wonderful man. You're like, you're somebody, you know?
I get the same feeling. Like, I go to shows with him, and I take pictures of him.
Right,
Because
I
I
do
see him,
too.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I take pictures
I
of
do,
him.
right? I always capture pictures. I watch him at a concert, and I'll watch him shooting, and I'll miss most of the concert because I'm watching him.
He gets into it, man.
He does. I love
He's
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get in the zone.
What about we were in Boston, right? And we're sitting in the seat. You and Janet were sitting in our seats, Aerosmith and Jay Giles, and we're watching. And all of a sudden it gets dark, and all of a sudden the lights come on, and Steven Tyler's on top of the Green Monster playing "Dream On." And I turned to Jen. I said, "Jen, look, it's your husband." And he was leaning against the piano. And you go, "Yeah, that's my husband."
Yeah, I love to see
That
him.
was amazing. That was amazing. But you did tell us when they come back, look up top, look on the Green Monster because you're going to see something cool. It was amazing. Great shots.
You knew Steven Tyler was going to be there. You just didn't know Kevin was going to be there.
Right.
And that was a fun concert.
That was a fun concert.
They're the boys from Boston, both those bands. So
That was the night I met Steven Tyler.
Yes,
actually.
I remember we were walking down the road and your phone rang.
We're trying to find. Yeah, he's
and it
like,
was
hurry up
Steven
and get
Tyler.
to this whatever
He
entrance.
said, "Are you going to come back?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. She got a
All right,
personal phone call from Steven Tyler.
We're going to jump back to more pictures.
More narration from Mr. Kevin Mazur and his amazing. How about some personal ones, Janine, with the four of us?
That's
That's good.
with Seinfeld and Colin.
that was last year.
Colin Quinn.
And what theater was that? That was
We
in.
went in
it was
Staten Island.
beautiful.
That was a
Staten
beautiful.
Island.
Oh, that place
St.
is
George's?
beautiful.
Was it
Yeah.
St. George's? I think
Oh,
it was
there's us, you
beautiful.
guys.
That was at the Aerosmith concert at Jones Beach. That was with Sammy Hagar. That was great and fun. What else? Let's see. I know there's a Jets picture there somewhere.
Right?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
Nicole
that's
Kidman.
That's a
and
beautiful picture.
Keith,
Keith
Urban.
Urban. Love her down in
Grammys.
that. Yeah.
Michael Douglas. That's at
Oh, yeah,
I forget
she's
what that
beautiful.
SAG Awards. Oh no, Tony Awards. This is Mariah when she was pregnant.
Oh, with Nick
with Nick
Cannon.
Cannon, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, now.
Yeah.
That's a power couple, I would say,
Yeah.
right?
He's a great guy.
Is he really?
He was, yeah, he was so cool. I recently.
That is a great shot.
Yeah, Eddie Van Halen, Airborne.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
This is like one of the last pictures of Elizabeth Taylor with Elton John.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they was.
Well,
they
she
were-
wasn't out in public for a long time after that.
Speaking of Elton John.
There you go, Alice. But this is when
Yeah,
we're in Boston.
That was the Boston concert.
That's in
yes.
Boston. I was on
And
stage
that-
with them.
What was
That's
amazing
right.
with that? We looked at each other. We're like, "There's Kevin right there on the stage with them shooting this."
Well, it was funny
Cool.
because the guys were like, Steven's like, "Okay, everybody, our friend Kevin's going to take a picture of us."
Yeah, it's great. I love that shot.
And this is the famous Michael Jackson. That's the last picture of Michael Jackson. This is it.
Wow.
Wow, and that's a great picture.
Well, that's the one that's all over everywhere.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
That's the main-
you know
that's
what
the
the
main
thing is,
picture,
like,
right?
like friends of mine always say, that's the picture you're going to see every year on the anniversary of his death.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'll live on. This was from the
another
Bad tour. This is
Janine's
Kurt
probably having fun
Cobain.
going through all these pictures.
Yeah,
They're great.
Kurt Cobain.
You don't have the one. of
That's the
Kurt-
first time I ever photographed Kurt Cobain. That was at Roseland.
And how far back was that?
That was
a
like
long
Teen
time
Spirit.
ago.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when It Smells Like Teen Spirit,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Well, I love that picture you have of him. It looks like he's got wings.
This is Golden Globe Awards where Robert Downey Jr. and Sandra Bullock
Sandra
won.
Bullock.
Yeah, she's good. She's a favorite of.
Yeah, this is
Willie
this
Nelson.
is a
That's a
great
great
portrait I
photo.
did
Do
of
you have
Willie.
that one in your?
Yeah, I have that in the
your-
loft,
Right
yeah.
in the loft. Okay, yeah, I love that. That's actually one of my favorites. Such character in his
Kid
Kid
face.
Rock, Airborne. I love getting great action shots like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
you can't get any better action than that.
Yeah, it was his 40th birthday. This is Jones Beach. This is when you guys
Was it?
saw him at Jones
Oh,
Beach.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the
Oh,
Jones
okay.
Beach
Joe
show
Perry.
when you were there.
Yeah, wow.
Another Kid Rock.
Yeah, that was a good
She's
shot.
in Washington, D.C. with Reese Witherspoon.
How's she? She cute?
Oh,
Sweet?
she's so
Because I mean,
nice.
she appears
Very
that way
nice.
always in all her movies. So.
This was the telethon for the Sandy benefit that we
Okay.
did at Jimmy Fallon. This
And
was
you guys-
they did this at Jimmy Fallon's, where Jimmy Fallon shoots his show.
There were so many
That's Jimmy
celebrities,
Fallon's
right?
stage where I
That-
shot that.
Is that Billy
There
Joel?
were so many
It's-
celebrities
Yeah, Billy
there.
Joel,
Springsteen.
Sting, Christina Aguilera, Springsteen,
Jovi?
and Bon Jovi. Yeah.
Okay.
And then this is, some of the press clippings. I
Right.
mean, you don't realize, but you see my pictures, but you probably don't realize they're mine.
Right. That's why I said
Yeah.
people know your pictures because they see them all over. They just don't realize that they're Kevin Mazur's pictures. But there you go, everybody. Now you know. All those fantastic pictures you see are Kevin's. Yeah.
It's the cover of Rolling Stone after Michael died.
And when did you work for Rolling Stone? What years were you there?
I was there for like 5-6 years in the 90s.
Okay.
And this is it. The billboards. This was a billboard.
See, I like that
This
one.
was a
That was
billboard
nice.
in L.A. for the movie.
Yeah, that's nice.
There you go.
Wow.
You got this is a Spreading People magazine. Do you see the Dylan one? The Bob Dylan album
Is there a
cover?
Bob Dylan album cover there, Janine? I know there's so many
of
pictures
them.
for her to fish through.
Yeah, that's another cover of Rolling Stone
Yeah,
I had
that's
with
great.
Jimmy Page.
Yeah,
This was
that's
from
great.
Live
Jimmy
Aid.
Page.
I shot that at Live Aid.
So now, Kevin, if anybody, once again, your rock, paper,
Rock paper photo.
Photo.
You could buy photos on Rock Paper Photo.
Yeah,
and
you
this
guys
is
have
Jen.
to-
This is our. We named our boat "Chillin' the Most" after Kid Rock's song, and we have Kid Rock's badass beer with us. So we
I remember
we
you
sent
telling us
that we sent that to Kid Rock, and he ended up putting that up on the screen at his concerts.
Oh, that's
so cool.
awesome.
There we are.
Oh, that's us way back. I think that's Jen when we
That's
first
my
met you, I
birthday.
think.
One of my birthdays.
Yeah.
All right.
Before we were engaged.
It's time for us to
It's
say goodbye. It's
The
been
hour,
an hour.
yeah, the hour's gone way too quick. But Kevin, longtime friend, we love you, we adore you, we respect you for obvious reasons. And Jennifer, now you brought into our lives, and I love you too.
We love you guys, man. Look at that
Lot
camera.
of
This is
love,
waving
a lot of
behind.
love. Goodbye from Madhouse
Bye.
Studios, the Soluri No Guts, No Glory Hour. Tune
See
in
you
next
next week.
Friday. Love you guys.
Awesome.
Yay.